You digging me? Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the few that are in here today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Miss Fat, where's that? What's going on? How you doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? To the few that have come in, if you don't mind, why in the world when I get under this light, I have like mad bags? Um, hit that like button if you don't mind. Let's have some conversation. You digging me? Following you? Where y'all been? Excuse me. Where y'all been? Where y'all been? I'm good. I'm good. I do all right for an old lady. You know, I do all right for an old lady. Y'all are too funny. Demetra, hey, how you doing, lady? How you doing? How you doing? Man, I should have got my drink before I sat down. I am parched. Don't say nothing about my little ghetto cup. But yeah, y'all come on in. Cool BJ, hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Y'all come on in. I waited around before I joined in on all the conversations because I wanted everybody to get whatever they had to say and whatever they had going on out the way, and I didn't want to be a part of that. And honestly, honestly, I didn't want to come on because I know when I come on and I go live, I'm going to monetize to some extent, and I didn't want to monetize or gain anything off of the verdict, so I just stayed away. Um, and that's just where I'm at on that. So shout out to the people that did come on and talk about it. And um, Tony's a critical thinker. How you doing? How you doing? To the people that did come on and talk about it and give everyone the information and, you know, did their commentary or whatever. Kudos to you on that. But just for me personally, um, that was more of a solemn moment to me, and a realization that I'm not going to say that I didn't expect the verdict because he was going up against a lot, but there's that realization on all sides, like this thing is really happening, like, and I just didn't feel like I needed to come on and be entertaining people when it came to that because it was serious. So and I'll get into that. Latrice, what it do, what it do, what's going on? Groovy family, hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Miss Texas Bama, what it is? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? So, yeah, that's Kim, hey, how you doing? I wanted to have some real talk with you guys, but I don't know if y'all ready for that real talk, because I know folks be getting mad with me when I be talking about stuff, so I don't know if y'all ready for that, like, real talk, or, you know, just, you just want to, you know, sit here and kick the bobo or whatever. Um, Kim, you say you ready? I mean, I don't know. Because I know I tried to have a conversation before and people didn't like the way that the conversation was going, but it was my my personal opinion. My personal opinion and uh, a little bit of my professional opinion. I see two people saying that they ready. So, Danny, hey, how you doing? How you doing? You probably gonna agree with me. I I'm not coming out with all the roaring and just being boisterous about stuff, because at the end of the day, one of the things that people requested, myself being one of those people, said, you know, let's let him have his day in court. And that day came. That day came. Whether we liked or disliked the verdict, whether we liked or disliked the way that things were going on inside that courtroom, one of the things that has been said from the beginning, let him have his day in court. Social media is not the courtroom. People are getting tried on social media. Not saying that he didn't get tried on social media, but he actually went through that court system, and it is what it is, as far as him going through the system. I got a couple things. I know that there were some people upset because somebody said something, and I'm just getting like bits and pieces because I like turn away from stuff when it go in a certain direction. About saying that didn't like the fact, you know, that somebody was saying that he was found guilty or whatever. He was found guilty. That's how the system works. That's how court works. The jury found him guilty. Did they prove that he was guilty? Not the jury, but did the prosecution prove that he was guilty? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no with authority. That's a firm no. I personally don't believe that they proved the charges that they were accusing him of. I don't believe that. I don't believe that they proved that. So, but did they find him guilty? Yes, they did. They found him guilty. And this is why he has the right to appeal. And just my thinking, again, this is just me talking to you guys. His attorneys already knew what was up. That appeal was already in the making before that trial was over. That appeal was already in the making because there was so much evidence. Whether we agree with the evidence or not, they had so much evidence against him, so much stuff that they could use that the defense already knew. That's why they took the angle that they took. That's why they took that angle, because what a lot of people don't want to hear is some things you can't dispute. And I don't know if anybody picked up on that. There are some things, like some stuff, like I'm going to argue with you on this one. Like, you're not going to put this out here. And then you got other things like, okay, I can't even touch that. So it's some things that they're like, okay, we're going to have to, you know, bite the bullet on that one and just go ahead and chop that one up and just go ahead and go after it this way and attack it from this angle so that we can see, you know, what the jury does with it. Again, remembering that it was not their case to prove. They just were trying to put a little bit of doubt, throw a little doubt seasoning up in there. But there was a lot of evidence. And even though there were a lot of people that were going to the courthouse and people were sitting in, you know, the overflow rooms and stuff like that, there were certain pieces of evidence that they intentionally did not give the public access to. One of those things, and to be honest, and I know y'all may disagree, I'm glad they didn't give certain access to certain things, especially when it pertains to audio and visual stuff. It need to stay, like, whatever that is, let it stay right where it is. Because everybody wanted to be in the know. But before I finish that, let me touch on this. This is going to be the part that people probably not going to like, okay? So y'all going to have to bear with me on this because I'm a little torn. I'm a bit torn. And those of you that follow my channel, you know I backed away from it and I tried not to say too much about what was going on. And I'm still in that same place, but there are some things that I spoke about before that had me a bit torn. And even now, after the fact, it still has me a bit torn because a lot of people don't see how their actions may come into play in any given situation. One of the things that you never heard me do, never, and I will never go after someone. I didn't go after any female that claimed that she was a victim. I called her alleged, and he was an alleged perpetrator. Alleged. That goes both ways. So my thing was, if you're on this social media thing, you'll get what I'm saying. Like, some of us understood the assignment. A message, like, you keep telling people not to poke, not to poke. Leave people alone, leave people alone, leave people alone. And this is my personal thing. Y'all may not agree with me. I'm sure people are not going to agree with me. But it bothered me. And I kept saying something about people messing with the young ladies, especially particular young ladies that were involved in this, because it was an active case. Now you had, and I'm going to keep it real for a minute, y'all. You had a young lady that was in love, and she was in love. It doesn't matter what anybody else think about it. She was in love. And then you have, I'm sorry, if it's one of y'all, consider your toes stepped on today. I still love you. You got these grown women, old enough to be this person's mama, grandma, some great grandmamas, coming after this young lady, trying to tell her what's going on in her house, because she was staying there. They were trying to tell her what was going on in her house, in her bedroom, and all this stuff. And she said when she was happy, she was ready to go. She was ready to fight, 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 fight. Then you got all these people coming. Some of them just as stalkish as what they claiming other people are. That's my man. That's my this. That's my that. Sounding just as crazy as all get out. But in the same tone, in the same voice, in the same sentence can call somebody else crazy and call somebody else a stalker. This lady, young woman, she had a relationship with him. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks about it. She had a relationship with that man. Sometimes you got to let sleeping dogs lie. He liked what he liked, period. So to start going after somebody when they straight tell you, and I remember a quote one day. I remember somebody saying, "I know where the bodies are buried." I don't know if y'all remember that. Does anybody else remember that? Or is it just me? I understood. She kept saying, "Don't poke the bear." I understood. And like I said, people may agree. But I understood. It's certain things you got this stuff, and it's like people weren't realizing that this is somebody's real life that's on the line right here. And you sitting here And one of the main people, see, that's one of the things too, because when all these people were sitting out here talking and doing commentary and putting stuff out here, they didn't realize just how important she was to this. As a matter of fact, some people said that she wasn't important. They didn't realize just how important she was to this whole thing. And even had the unmitigated gall to get upset with me for not confronting her, going after her, bad-mouthing her. Why would I do that when I understand the assignment? So you go and piss this girl off, this young lady off to high heaven, and try to tell her about her man and try to just all kinds of foolishness. And we sit here and we act like people aren't just as human as we are. You're not going to let somebody else come at you. It gets to a point to where you say, you know what? Oh, that's how y'all want to play. And I told y'all this. We done had this conversation before. That's why when I'm hearing certain folks talk about stuff, I'm straight side-eyeing. Like, what did you think was going to happen? When you keep pushing people, even between the bloggers, you push people to a certain extent and they go all the way off. You don't know what to expect. So I'm saying, and then you're talking about a young lady, a young impressionable, even though she's smart. Yeah, oh. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not act like, as women, let's not act like, and we can sit here and we can try to lie all day. Let's act like we don't know. Let's act like we don't know. When somebody get us mad, especially our man get us mad, and it's dealing with some other females too, let's act like we don't know how trifling we can be. I ain't saying nobody trifling. I'm just saying y'all know we can be petty boots. We done talked about this before. So my thing is, when you kept messing with this person, you knew it had already been put out there, right? It had already been put out there that she was testifying. How much sense did that make? I'm going to give you another one. Y'all definitely ain't going to like this one. I asked y'all if we could talk for real tonight. Y'all might not like this. You got people talking trash about the attorney that he has that represented him in this one. They didn't like the way that he did certain things. He played the cards he was dealt. Okay? He played the hand that he was dealt. Period. But here's the thing. I'm saying the same thing about Greenberg. Now, let me tell you where foolishness come in. I told you y'all ain't going to like this right here. Listen to what I'm telling you now. You can sit here and talk trash about this man all day, but once again, he has so much information. And whether people like it or not, he is still over the case in Chicago. Why are you going to go and try to piss off the person or try to turn the person that is still working his Chicago case? Why are you trying to turn him against his client? Because that's basically what you're doing. For somebody to just say, F it, you on your own. When people are doing things, instead of thinking about yourself, and how you can go and get people all pepped up and get, you know what I'm saying? You got to think about the greater picture. In the grand scheme of things, everybody want to say, make that make sense. Let's do it. Let's do it. We went into this thing saying that it's real, and no, it's not over. There's still a lot of stuff to go. Now, while I'm thinking about it, let me address something else. There's somebody going around saying that he's going to go and he's going to tell on all these other folks in the industry, all these other celebrities and all this stuff. Bull crap. Bull crap. That is the biggest piece of bull monarchy I have ever heard in my life. And my question is, who told you? Because he for darn sure didn't tell you. Who told you? Somebody is always telling somebody something out here in these streets. Who told you? Now, a wise person would know. Again, if I offend anybody, I don't know you personally. I'm just sitting on here talking right now. A wise person would know that if he was going to do that, remember way back when Greenberg and the crew had brought the attorney in, the plea deal attorney? And I was like, you know what? That's a good thing. You need to keep that plea deal attorney in the clutch. That always has to be an option on the table. I don't care if people, well, no, he didn't do it. He don't need. No, you keep that plea attorney in the clutch. You keep them there. Now, if he was going to go and try to turn on some people and try to get some other folks in trouble, that would have been when they used that attorney. You don't wait until you go to court, they find you guilty, and then you want. That's not how this works. No. Because when you get charged with certain things, you have certain guidelines. Certain charges carry certain guidelines. I told you guys before, you have a max, you have a minimum. So you don't go after the fact. Well, you do have some people try to get their sentences cut off a little bit, but that's just not how this works. So for whoever put that out there, what they're trying to do is get them hurt. That's what they're trying to do. If we gonna have a real conversation, that's what they're trying to do. And any little piece of support that he has from people that are still in the industry, they're trying to make people nervous. But I'm sure that the people that know him know that if he was going to tell on somebody, he would have been did that. Because that would have helped him, I mean. But the thing is, realistically, when you tell on someone else, if you're trying to tell on someone else about what they're doing, and you're saying you know because you were there, then that means that you are implicating yourself as well. Follow me now. So I'm hoping that people that have just a lick of common sense don't believe any parts of that. That don't even make sense. If I tell on you, that means I got to tell on me too. I'm going to incriminate my darn self. Come on. But people will run with any and everything. Any and everything. I'm just saying. That was one of the things that I saw, and I'm like, who made up this bull right here? Like, who took the time? Who took the time? Oh, hold on. Then there's, Lord have mercy. Y'all got to forgive me. My arm's still a little tingly. The music. Exactly, Everyday Gemini. He gonna go, he barely talked to people already. And he gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tell on this person and I'm gonna tell on that person, you know, and I'm gonna see if they can get me this. Those people aren't the ones that they wanted. He could probably tell on Jesus right now and it wouldn't matter. Forgive me, Lord, you know what I'm saying. But yeah. Okay, Monet, I'll check it out. So my thing is, and that's what was getting me with this whole debacle. People putting stuff out there and people just jumping on it, believing everything that's put out there. And it's like, did you really think about what they said? Like, did you really think about what they said? Does it make sense? Because a lot of stuff, if you think about it, if you just say it out loud, it will stop you from repeating it because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So that's my take on that. Now, his music. I know that people were saying something about his music. Y'all, again, don't be fooled. His music is shooting through the roof right now. His live streams are literally shooting through the roof. They doubled and tripled the day of his trial. If you have Apple Music, just let the music play like every third song is R. Kelly. Or he's in a feature of somebody. It's like they're playing the mess out of his music. Like just because he was found guilty, now they have a pass to play his music. I'm calling BS on that. Let me tell you something. Regardless of what side of the fence you on, this is for everybody. If his alleged behaviors got you to the point that you didn't want to listen to his music, then don't listen to it now that they found him guilty. Because if you think he disgusting, then he disgusting whether they find him innocent or whether they find him guilty. So why in the world, 71 Suburban Girl, 312, how you doing, lady? Why in the world all of a sudden now it's okay for you to listen to the music? If it wasn't okay for you to listen to his music last week because you felt some type of way, then why is it okay for you to listen to it on Tuesday? I call bull monarchy. You know what I say? You never stop listening to it to begin with. You were listening to it the whole time. But it sound good. It sound good to come on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and wherever else and say, I'm not listening to his music anymore. You're lying. You were still sitting up there listening to that music, bobbing your head. You was. You might not have been buying it. Shoot, nobody's buying it. Nobody's buying anybody's music. We streaming it now. You listening to it on YouTube and a lot. Well, I was just trying to get some information. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You were trying to see if you still didn't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. And my thing is, if you don't listen to his music, don't listen to Aaliyah's music. Don't listen to it. Don't listen to Sparkle. Don't listen to darn, Lord have mercy, Kurt Franklin. Don't listen to the Isley Brothers. Don't listen to Trey Songz. Don't listen to, just don't listen. Just don't listen, because there's not too many pieces of this music industry, this business period, that has not been touched. And that's my thing. If we're gonna, Marvin Sapp was who I was trying to remember, Shamika, thank you. If we gonna do it, then do it. You understand what I'm saying? It's like it's selective rage. Now, this is my personal opinion. I told y'all might not like what I have to say today. These are my thoughts. That's why I kept my opinion to myself while all this stuff was going on, because I did not want to get involved in all this stuff, and I was not trying to monetize off this man's sentence, because that I don't want no freaking money off somebody basically being told that they're gonna have life in prison. I can wait. Just let everybody get their stuff out. I'll wait and come back and say something later. Listen. Ooh. My first thing is, it's just like this YouTube mess. That's what pisses me off about YouTube. That's why I stay away so much, because it's so, the hypocrisy is real. That's why I keep throwing those hypocrisy videos out there. We got one person saying that this person is bad. Press pause for a second. Press pause. Y'all hit that like button real quick. I ain't asking y'all for no money or nothing like that, but I am gonna ask you to hit that like button real quick. Just saying. Hit that real quick. So you got like this person saying this person's sin is greater than the other person's sin. Or I only did this, so I'm not as bad as this person. Y'all heard me talk about this before. So to me, a Christian woman, sin is sin to me. So my thing is, if you sitting over here and you beating up your wife or beating up your girlfriend, listen, why we still bumping that? if you sitting up here and you got songs, because we literally were going over some people's songs, you got songs that literally say, sorry about that, y'all, my phone rung, that you like messing with these young folks or whatever, or you would do this to that. I mean, we talked about this stuff and we try to do it candidly, but the fact still remains that there are people out here, you a minister and you sitting up here and you're cheating on your wife with all these women or just one woman. If we're gonna do it, then let's do it all the way and stop being selective in how we do stuff. And the thing is, y'all, the mute culture, I don't buy into that. That's something, once again, that we feed into. There is no such thing as a mute culture. You cannot mute anybody. You can't mute someone unless they want to be muted. And it's hard for you to mute your darn self. Once you're out there, you're out there. You can't just be erased. So there is no mute culture. You understand? If you want to listen, then you listen. If you don't want to listen, then don't listen. But there are several places. You can come on YouTube all day. You want to hear him? Type in his name. You want to hear your favorite song? Type in the song. There is no such thing. There is no such thing. We are the ones that make that culture exist. Just like Me Too, that was something that was created by a person and people blew it up. The cancel culture, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Until we get to the point where we stop letting people, you know what, they probably delete, most of the pages weren't being ran by him anyway. You see what I'm saying? You got posts that he making, he ain't making them posts right now. Who posting for him? Most of these pages are ran by other people. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. You go on these things. I mean, they play. Where's my phone? Oh, I'm using my phone. The music is there. The music is there. We have to stop allowing people to think for us. We have to. Now I'm gonna go deeper with this one. Again, you might not like it, but I'm gonna say what I gotta say because this is for me. I've seen people love celebrities. I've seen supporters. I've seen fans. This is the first time in my life. I almost feel like I'm in biblical times. Like I can understand what they talked about in the Bible at this point. This is the first time that I have literally seen people worship an earthly man. Now I've seen fandom start, like people start. This is the first time. This is the first time I have seen people worship a man and put somebody so high on a pedestal. And I mean this, y'all listen. There's no ill will with this. You put folks so high on a pedestal that you don't think they can do anything wrong. You do wrong yourself. I do wrong. People that are ready to fight and kill you if you disagree with them with something about somebody, like they live with them every day. It's scary. Like people don't even take up for their own families like that. They don't even take up for God like that. And I'm sitting here and I'm seeing like, this is scary. And I almost think when the stuff first started, and I don't know, once again, if you were with me from the beginning, you know I had all these videos up talking about them. I talked about the conversation that we had and talked about him being on a spiritual journey. That's something I spoke with him about. And I still stand on that. And that's why I think things are happening the way that they are happening. And what people don't understand, they say, yeah, it is definitely a spiritual thing. You can't possibly think that is possibly believe. Let me not say think, possibly believe that is spiritual. And then go and put all this hell up in it and expect for something good to happen. If you understand that it's spiritual, then you know that all the back and forth and the fighting and the bickering and the looking people up and putting people out there, you know that stuff, they can't coexist. They cannot coexist. They work against each other. And you would also understand that there's nothing that we would be able to do on this side that's going to change what is destined to happen if we believe that this is a spiritual journey for him, which he agreed with. And if you listen to the things that he's been saying, he's been on a journey for a long time. It did not just start in 2019. It didn't start in 2018. He has been on a journey for a while. A journey that few people refuse to acknowledge. It's not about you. It's not about us. This is his journey. And I don't know if anybody noticed. Anybody at all. I'm not talking about the people that claim know him and knew. The people that are close to him. Close. I'm talking about the people that are close, that have been there. What did they ask people to do? They asked people to fall back and pray for him. That's what they asked for. They didn't come out doing all this extracurricular stuff and acting a fool and all this stuff. They said, pray for him. They said that's what they were doing, and that's what they asked his supporters to do. Pray for him, because they understand. But it's the folks out here that don't really know what's going on in somebody's house, that's trying to put all this stuff out here and act like they know who did what, when, where, how, and why, and don't know a darn thing. And then putting all this negative on top of the stuff that's already going on, and think this, man, y'all better quit playing. Quit playing. We said it before, and I hear people saying it, but don't say it if you don't mean it. Y'all, God don't bless mess. Period. Period. That's not how this works. And I sit there and people are like, yeah, he never said anything, and he didn't fuss these people out, and he didn't come after these people. And I heard people talking about how he looked in court. He didn't, no facial expression, because he understands. He knows that there's a journey that he has to go on right now. If he didn't, he would have acted a fool in that courtroom. But because we are not in that place to understand, then everything just looks crazy. So when people say it's not over, you're right, it's not over. But it's not in the way that people necessarily think. It's not over because it's his journey, and it's not over until the man says it's over. It's not about the court. It's not about the jury. It's not about the attorneys. It's not about the witnesses. It's not about the media. It's not about anybody. Whenever he says it is over, then it will be over. We have no control over that. I'm just saying, we don't. The part that people are not going to like. And I stick to this day. He has some work that he has to do. That's what I told him. You have some work that God wants you to do. And you're going to be in a situation until you do it. He said, I know. So when they get to the place where they got their stuff, because contrary to people may not want to listen, he got some stuff to work on. Period. No, you may not like that I said it. I said it. He has some stuff that he needs to work on. Yes, he does. He has some stuff that he needs to work on. And if we say that he don't, then we are lying to ourselves. He has some stuff that he needs to work on. His decision making. He needs some guidance on that. Because if he was thinking, if he was in the right space, if his decisions were ordered, if his steps were ordered, he would not be in this situation. He would not have the people around him that were around him. These young ladies that he was dealing with, he would not have been dealing with them. He would have been dealing with the right people at the right place, at the right time, and the right hour. Period. Now, one of the things that we talked about before, and I can tell you, it was a personal conversation that we had, and I won't go out into detail with it, but one of the things that I said, that he said that bothered me, was in that video of him talking. And I actually think it's one of the ones that Shabazz did the recording. And what he said on there was, when it came, he said he, been through a lot of stuff. And somebody was like, God brought you out. He was like, God didn't bring me out of this. I got myself out of this. I got me out of this. See, that's something you can't do. And that's why I said he's on the journey to this day. He's on the journey. Now get mad with me, talk about me, like do whatever you know what I'm saying? Because I don't have no ill feelings. Like, this is genuine concern. That's why I didn't get caught up in all the stuff, because I understand. I can recognize a journey when I see one. When you see stuff and it's got to the point where it's so crazy that like you couldn't make it up, you know that something else is happening. You know that something's happening. You like, dang, like this, like they couldn't even write the script for this, like something is happening. Now y'all go back over the last 2 years and like really think about all the stuff that has been going on. Places that you found yourself in, like things that you have participated in, stuff that you've listened to, stuff that you watched. Did you ever think that you would be witnessing something like this at this particular time? Did you ever think it was going to happen? Did you ever think that he would even be in this place right now? You can't see it because it wasn't your journey to see. It wasn't your journey to be on. Here, the reality of it is, and I know people don't like when I start talking about God too flipping bad. When he brings you through something, he gives you that chance. He's telling you what he needs you to do. Yeah, everyday Gemini. And you go and you do it for a little while until you feel like you're, back to where you need to be. And then you find yourself partaking in some of those same behaviors. They don't have to be illegal behaviors, just those same behaviors that he saved you from, that he gave you his grace on before, and you, whatever, like I'm good now. You see what I'm saying? When you can't play with it. Because see, one of the things that I was always taught is one thing when you don't know. But when you know, when you choose to do something different, then you're going to go on a few journeys. You're going to go on a few of them. You're going to go on a few of them. You're going to go on a few. And a lot of times it'll be when you least expect it. Yeah. It'll be when you least expect it. Now, one of the things that I got from this whole situation, like I said, I stayed quiet because I knew that a lot of people, most people weren't going to agree with anything that I had to say if it wasn't what they wanted to hear. One of the things that I got from people that were around him and just listening, not listening as a support, as a fan, or nothing like that, just listening. People were saying, that he was hard-headed, that he didn't like listening to people. And people would be scared to, they'll try to tell him he get mad and people didn't want him mad with him, or they didn't want to get fired, or they didn't want this. It doesn't matter. You got those friends that tell, and they, okay, you get mad, you'll be all right. Like, some things he didn't want to hear. That was still going on even during the trial you guys were witnessing some of it and didn't even realize that you were witnessing that because it was so much extra noise going on that people really didn't know. They didn't understand because everybody was putting their spin on it. But you got to listen. And it baffled. I don't know. Y'all, I went and I put the video out with Marvin Sapp, and I'm showing you you're telling the story. Yes, people say no, his songs don't necessarily mean whatever. No, he wrote that song for a reason. But he got to follow his own advice. He got to follow his own advice. And not just him, us too. Because we good at giving advice. We can do it all day. Shoot, I get paid for it. And sometimes still, I don't take my own advice. True story. You got to follow your own advice. When you see that you are getting in your own way, something that came out during the trial, y'all, and it didn't. And this is the only thing that I'm gonna mention with the young lady when it comes to, as it pertains to the trial and her situation with him, other than what I had already said. Allegedly, a Jane Doe that was a witness, pretty much star witness, for the prosecution. Now, it was said that she lied about her age at first. I think she admitted to that. And at some point, she felt bad and she went and told him what her age actually was, and he sent her home. Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. He sent her home. He sent her back. He told her she had to go back home. And if we were to go by the letter that was written, I don't know, because you saying you wrote it under duress, I don't know. But eventually you made your way back and a letter was written signing over, I guess you could say guardianship or whatever. This is what I'm saying about decisions. This is what I'm saying about decisions. If you knew that there was already some ill intention behind that, or just knowing the situation that you had already been in, thank you, Shamika. You should have left her at home. You should have left her with her parents and let her finish school. You should have insisted. He should have insisted. And this is nothing against her. It's nothing against her. This is what I'm talking about with decisions. While he still has some work to do. This is, and people don't get that. It's still some work that has to be done, because at the end of the day, if you would have let her stay home, insisted that she stay home. Now, if you want to come and pursue whatever, once you're of age, then feel free to do that. But in the meantime, I'm not going to have any of my people taking guardianship. Because if they got to take guardianship over you, then that means that you're not old enough to be here. That's all I'm saying. There are some decisions that could have been made. Like the woman, I ain't signing nothing to be nobody's parent. Like, you see what I'm saying? No. If you got to go and get her out of school, like do all this, no. Absolutely not. No, no, no. And again, this is nothing against her, because that's a whole other monster right there, because she done been through some stuff too, and I'm just going to leave that there, because only she knows what she been through. But whatever she been through, it started way before this. It started way before this. But you let her stay. And even while she's doing that she can work on her craft more. You see what I'm saying? She can work on her skill. I'm not going to say, I know people say she can't sing. I think she has a beautiful voice. I would never take that away from her. You work on your skill, work on your craft. You work on that gift that you were given. And then when you're old enough, then you come back. And then we know that there will be no misunderstandings or nothing of that nature. But the decisions. Again, this is when people around say, no, she need to go home. Just like whoever got in the ear or whatever. Like, look, she said she was on there. Look, if you sent her home that fast, you should have let her stay home just as fast. Because if you can sing, you can sing. Your voice matures more. So then you just, you do that and you keep going. So in that particular situation, and just the women in general, it is not a crime for you to have all these women. If you want to go out and be a polygamist, then you do it all day. But you got to understand what you're putting yourself into. You got to understand, just like these women got to understand what they're getting themselves into. Because if you're dealing, and I'm going to say polygamist at this time, if you're dealing with somebody that is openly telling you that I got this woman, this woman, this woman, this woman, and you choose to put yourself in that situation, then you have to understand what you're stepping into. At the same time, if you are a man that's choosing to have this woman, this woman, this woman, this woman, and this woman, then you have to be accountable for what you putting yourself in. Because at the end of the day, just like we talked about the other day, women, we can sit here and say that we sister wives all day. Somebody gonna be jealous somewhere, and it's gonna come out. And it's going to be some shady happenings going on. There's going to be some underhanded stuff. It's going to be some backstabbing, because everybody wants to be first. Nobody wants to be benched. Everybody want to be first string. They don't want to be on second string. Everybody want to be the star quarterback. Everybody want to be the point guard. Everybody want to be the star on the team. This is where I said it comes back down to decisions. Was that illegal? No. Was it smart? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can't keep up with all those people. You can't keep up with all those people. I'm telling y'all that those things, like I said, I kept to myself. Like, me and the sisters, we done had conversations, and they even got mad with me some days. I mean, but we had these conversations, and I'm like, yo, come on now. I told y'all before, I do think he's controlling. I do. People, men that tend to be in those types of relationships generally tend to be controlling. Those are facts. Right, Latrice? And I mean, that's my thought. Controlling doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. But at the same time, there's a certain degree of control that comes along with that. Because you got to be able to rein all these folks in to even get them to the point, and we just gonna keep it real for a minute, to even get the women to a point to where they'll even go along with that. There's a y'all, oh Lord, y'all ain't gonna let, there's a certain degree of control that comes along with that. And it's not, oh, you better do this. I'm not talking about that kind of control. So don't get it twisted. You better do this and that. No, 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 no. There's a different type of control that comes along with that. And that control, it allows everybody to know what their place is. Just like, because when you can get these women right here to go and eat ice cream together and all that, child, bye. Bye. Dog now. That's my dog. He my dog now, but bye. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. No ma'am, no Sam, no ham. Y'all, if I'm sharing it for darn sure ain't on purpose. It is not on purpose. So with those things, I just, for me, I feel like everybody, I can't see the whole thing. I see, can you do an open panel? 312, I'm on the regular, I'm on regular YouTube tonight. Like, I'm not on my, shoot, I hadn't used my, long. I'll do that another day. I sure will. I'll do that. This grown man manipulating a girlfriend right now. Right. That, I was trying not to use that word because, you know, it had been thrown out there a lot about manipulation. But yeah, I do believe, yeah. But I want to go on record and saying, because I want to make this clear, what they charged him with, they did not prove. They did not prove. I don't agree with that at all. 0%. I don't agree with that at all. Now, what he's going to be responsible for in these other places, in these other venues, these other jurisdictions, that's going to be a whole other story. What they tried to charge him, what they did charge him with in New York, that was a bunch of bull. That was a bunch of bull. So, which makes me think of something else too, y'all. Because I'm thinking about decisions and we just having real conversation tonight. I'm pretty sure somebody gonna go back and say I said some other stuff a different type of way and all this. Nah, we're not doing it like that. Listen, some more bad decisions. And I know, you know, when you look at the book and you know the history behind stuff, at least what you've been told, some of the stuff is like learned behavior. But wanting to record everything. Now, this is what I'm going to say. I didn't speak on the devices because everybody was making a joke about it. But he is going to be, he is accountable. If you sat there and left all those laptops and all those iPhones and you sitting up there recording stuff and you just holding on to them, you're responsible for that. You are responsible for that. You're responsible for that. S2. I'm not changing what I'm saying. It's going along with exactly what I said. If you holding on to all of that stuff, you better burn it. You better do something with it. If you're sitting there holding on to that stuff, anything that could possibly be used against you, like, and recording everything. I don't even care, y'all. I'm sorry. These days, you got to be careful with. I don't trust nobody with recordings. I'm sorry. Period. Point blank. I don't care. You my husband or whatever. I don't trust you either with a recording because you might try to use it against me one day. No. Absolutely not. No, 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 no. You go find somebody else to record. You are not recording me for you to try to blackmail me with something another day. No, we're not doing that. So that's what I'm saying. I know people might not like that, but hey, Dom, how you doing? It's just certain things. It may have made sense at the time to you, I don't know, because I can't think for somebody else, but y'all know how people do, right, Shamika? When you get mad, I ain't got time for, right, revenge porn. Y'all, we've seen it. We've seen stuff. Come on, if we're being realistic, humans are gonna be humans. Humans are going to be humans. And we get mad, we feel like, oh, check yourself. No, I don't agree that anything, no ma'am, or sir, no, I don't, I'm telling you, I don't agree with the charges from New York. I don't, I never did. I never did. But what I'm saying is his decisions. You gotta make better decisions, because there's no way. And the thing is that people were getting upset about, because I remember even when Shabazz did his documentary and the other blogger was saying, yeah, they found these things and they found these things, and people were like, no, that's a lie, that's a lie. And then she said, anyway, she told y'all she knew where the stuff was at. She took them exactly to the place where it was at. So to some extent, there's some truth to that. Because if there wasn't any truth to it, then they wouldn't have been able to obtain and attain that equipment, that evidence. They wouldn't have been able to get it. So we can't deny that something existed. Some things did exist. Some things did exist. My thing is, why are you keeping that stuff? That's all I'm saying. Why? That's the thinking. That's what I'm talking about. If people were already saying this number of years ago that they had you on something, doing something that you weren't supposed to be doing, I wouldn't be keeping nothing recorded. Do y'all get me? I'm talking about learning from past situations, learning from past behaviors. If people say that they saw this, or they're claiming that you were on this, you ain't getting me on nobody. If I ain't on stage performing, you will not have me on anybody's recording unless I don't know. I won't be the one sitting up here recording. Now, for darn sure, I ain't gonna tell you to record. Hey, Jeffrey, how you doing? It may not make sense to y'all what I'm saying. I'm just sitting up here, and these are the things that have been going through my mind. I'm like, I wish that I could have been around you at some particular time, so I could be like, boy, are you crazy? Like, no. No. That's all one thing that I always tell my clients, Sir Miguel, hey, how you doing? One thing that I always tell my clients is, you can't be mad with somebody if they have a gun and you give them the bullets and they shoot you. You can't be mad with them because you gave them the bullets. The gun is not hurting you unless they're trying to beat you with it. But as far as shooting you, the gun not hurting you, it's when you give them the bullets. Then that's when it becomes a problem. And that's the part that I'm speaking on that people don't want to hear. You can't give people that ammunition. You can't give them that. You can't give them that. You can't. But it goes all the way around, because that's what I was saying when people started coming after the young lady. It's the same thing. She in love with him. Everybody get mad. Ed in Houston, I hadn't seen you in a long time. How you doing? She madly in love. Everybody get mad. That ain't your man. He ain't this. He ain't that to you. You a peasant. You this, you that, you the third. And y'all don't, not y'all, but people don't want her to be in love with him. And now she's saying she's not in love with him. Now she coming after him. And now people mad because she come. Like, what the flip do you want? You should have left the child, the girl, the she, the her. You should have left her alone to begin with. Leave her alone. And I'm hoping that what people get out of this from this point on, while this other stuff is going on, while he's fighting for an appeal, leave these people alone. Stop trying to play God. Let him do his work. Stop trying to run up and get in contact with this person and trying to talk to this one and tell them don't talk to, like, stop. And just, it's not helping. It is not helping. Only thing it did, it gave the prosecutors some other things to look at, because best believe they were sitting there like, oh, well, shoot, we didn't know that. Well, would you look at that? And they went and started looking at, see what I'm saying? See, Miss Fat talking about Bay. See, she went on right there, Bay. See, she's saying he her Bay too. See what I'm talking about? Nah, I'm playing. But you got to let them do their job. You got to let them do their jobs, because at the end of the day, coming after these people, I know it's good for business, okay? Hey, Cheryl, how you doing? I know it's good for business when it comes to social media. Anything that has some drama, anything that has a negative connotation, anything that it has to do with somebody's downfall, anything that raises somebody's blood pressure is good for business. It's good for business. When it comes to social media and the media, period, it's good for business. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, is it beneficial to him? If you're somebody that truly supports him, is it beneficial to him? Because if you on YouTube, he ain't getting none of this YouTube money. He ain't getting these little dollars that YouTube giving out. If you're on Instagram doing it, he ain't getting the little Instagram dollars. He ain't getting the little Twitter. I don't even know what Twitter give out money. He ain't getting the Twitter dollars. He ain't getting the little TikTok dollars. So at the end of the day, you got to think about like what you're actually supporting. I'm not going to like support yourself now. Definitely support yourself, but you got to be honest with yourself about, whether or not what you're doing is actually beneficial to the person that you're claiming to support. Because I feel like a lot of damage was done. I feel like a lot of damage. Nah, them commissary dollars ain't, I'm talking about some dollars. Some dollars. Like the kind of dollars that would have flew out some more witnesses, those kind of dollars. I just think it's a lot. And again, these are my personal thoughts. Personal thoughts. That's it. My personal thoughts. I feel like there were a lot of inconsistencies that went on. I feel like there are some things that he is definitely some things that he's responsible for and that he's going to have to accept responsibility for. decisions that he's made, things that he has that he was participating in. He has to accept responsibility for those things. But I also believe that anybody else that was involved in any way, shape, or form, they should be accepting responsibility and should be held accountable for their actions as well. Everybody. 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 I don't feel like anybody should be, and I know, y'all, this is wishful thinking because it's already done. But I don't feel like if you feel that he's done wrong, I don't feel like anyone should be able to get off. Because if it's that bad to you that you feel like he deserves life, then whatever you're claiming they did to assist, then their behavior should be just as wrong as his behavior, if that makes sense. So if you think his was so bad, then nobody should be granted immunity or given a pass to get up there and speak. If you feel like he really did all these things, then everybody should be held accountable. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to do it all the way around. I do have an issue to this day with him being, well, he's not the only one. There was a McDavid, but I have an issue. I have an issue with that. Because initially what this thing was about was an enterprise, a group of individuals that he was running. And at this point, why I said they didn't prove their case is because at the end, they turned it around and basically said, no, it wasn't about a group of individuals. He was the one that was running it by himself. It wasn't the people that were running it. He actually had his hands on it that were doing it. So you actually changed your tone. So the story changed. And we all know that realistically, there is no way for one person to be in all these places at one time running all of these things. No. So what you accused him of initially, what was put out there to the public and what people were believing from the beginning, how bad, like there were some horror stories that were put out there from the beginning. And ultimately, that's not how it turned out in the end. That's just not how, that's just not it. It's just not it. So I don't... This one, it's a tough one. It's a tough one for me because you see stuff and you're like, yeah, you know this is not right. You know this is not right. This is not right here. This is not right. Kelsey, I'm not gonna disagree with you on that. I'm not gonna say that he didn't do anything. I'm not gonna say that he did. My take has always been, I'm not gonna say what somebody did or did not do if I wasn't there. That's pretty much my take. That's my take, period. Because of in certain situations, I can't tell you what I won't do. If I get put in a certain situation, I honestly, I can say in this situation, this is what I would say I'm going to do. But until I get put in a certain situation, I can't tell you specifically what I am going to do. Like definitely what I am going to do, because I would be lying to you. So that's why I say I don't come on trying to tell you, no, this one didn't do this one, unless I can say with 100% certainty, like I got the light. Yeah, I see you. Like if I can say it with 100% certainty, then I'm going to give you that. But if I can't say it with 100% certainty, I'm not going to do it. What I'm going to say is I'm going to hope that that wouldn't happen, or that it doesn't seem like that person would do something like that. But I can't stand anywhere and say that one person absolutely didn't do something versus like I can't. I would be telling you a bald-faced lie. I wouldn't be straight, like I'd be telling you a lie. To me, it's spite for the rich. What's going on with trauma? This is not a life sentence. I call it pimping big time. What about the way can have down one. And you know, you have that culture there too, you know. Um, I am. He was. He was way too accessible. And see, that's the thing too. Again, my opinion. Um, you got some people trying to pull him out of certain areas. Some people they reach a certain status and they move to different areas or whatever, make themselves less accessible. And he tended to want to be, with his folks or whatever. Um, and at some point you can outgrow people. Um, But the thing is, if you got the streets in you, then you got the streets in you. I can tell you this, and again, this is my personal opinion. My personal opinion. I have watched some interviews, and I said this before, and I think a couple of people got upset. But this part, this is my job. This is what I do. I have watched some interviews, and I've watched his responses, and I could tell, like I said, I spoke to y'all about this before, that intellectually he didn't get it. And he would ask them to repeat the question because he didn't quite get, like, it took him a minute to like process what the question was. And to me, that kind of goes along with, again, this is alleged too. I mean, he said it, his brother said it, but that would go along with someone experiencing some type of trauma as a child, which he claimed he did. So people were trying to say that he's autistic. I don't believe he's autistic, but I do believe that intellectually, that with that trauma, that he remained stuck in that place, because some of the things that, even in the book, even though he didn't write the book, but there are some things that will make you say, okay, so he's still like childlike when it comes to these things. And even when you heard I'm gonna just call her Jane for the sake of this, whenever things were good and you would hear her talking, and she would say they go to the park, they go to the fair, they go and do this stuff. This was like stuff that, you know what I'm saying, like that younger people would do. And this is just me talking. This is just me. This is just, okay, so let me be clear on that. This is just an opinion. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. If you rephrase it in a different way, it's better to comprehend. I feel like he was mentally, let me not say mentally, I feel like he was intellectually challenged. In school, it would be considered like a mental handicap, which is apparent. That's why he had trouble in school. It wasn't just the dyslexia. There was something else. And even when you heard his brother before talking about how he referred to himself in third person sometimes. And a lot of stuff is like a getaway, like you're trying to escape something. And that's what I was seeing. And I'm pretty sure if I was able to be around and like get some more information, then, we could have a more solid conversation on that. So this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion. But that's something that I saw myself, like it took, like you can see it a lot of times when people don't understand and they're trying to get it, you'll see them tilt their head because they're trying to, like, if they tilt it, like in their mind, it's like, okay, if I tilt it so I can make sure I'm hearing, I'm like, they're trying to understand. They're trying to understand. He's articulate in interviews depending on what the question is. Depending on what the question is. If they, and whether or not the questions were already rehearsed in advance, like if he knew what the questions were going to be. So that makes a difference. but I've seen him in some of the video just talk, even parts of the Gayle King interview. I noticed it in that interview as well. Just being honest, I did. Um, and it was some of the things like people were laughing at, and they were like, "Oh, I can't believe he did it." It was like, to him, it was like they said he blew up and all this stuff. To him, he wasn't blowing up. He was expressing himself. Like, I hadn't had a chance to get up and talk. This is my time to talk. I'm gonna go ahead and talk. But people saw it as this explosive thing. I'm not saying that anybody doesn't know right from wrong, but I am going to say that whenever it comes to somebody that has a developmental delay, particular mental health issues, particular intellectual disabilities, then that does come into play. Now, if I'm trying not to go too far. If you guys were watching court from the very beginning, like when it was back in Chicago, when they actually had cameras in the courts, did y'all not see the judge, the male judge, literally going question by question and making sure that he understood what they were saying? If you were watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They would talk to him, but then they also had almost like little side conversations. They made sure that he understood, and the judge kept asking him, "Do you understand? Do you understand?" I don't know if y'all remember that. I remember that completely because I knew what they were doing. There was a reason for that. There was a reason for that. So, um, all I can say is, again, he's on his own journey. I'm not going to sit here and say what should or should not happen to him. That is not my call. That is not my job. Well, not in this particular case anyway. That is not my job. What I will say is that whatever journey he's going through, this is his journey to go through. And everybody can have their opinion on it. But at the end of the day, we don't have the final say-so in it. He doesn't even know what's going to happen in the end. And that's just what it is. As far as the ages, this is what I have to say about the ages and why. And we had a conversation about this before too. And I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to be realistic about it. Now, a lot of people, "Oh, Doc, I can't believe you said blah, 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 blah." But listen to what I'm saying. I need you to hear me out. I need you to hear what I'm saying, because I don't want anybody misconstruing what I'm saying. If you go down, you have a person that we're all born in different times. So right now, that age thing, it's a pretty big deal. But for a lot of us, and I'm going to say this, y'all ain't going to like this. If we go by the laws today, some of your granddaddies should have been locked up. Some of your daddies should have been locked up. Some of your mamas and grandmamas should have been locked up. Some of your grandparents got pregnant when they were 12 and 13 years old from a 22, 23-year-old man. And it was accepted. You got people that are 20 years apart. And it was accepted. Or either it wasn't talked about. And we had this conversation before. We go back to just the color purple, just the whole thing with the color purple, and how that whole thing, that's how at some point that's how stuff was. And you had people offering dowries for, and I'm saying dowries, not diaries, but dowries for, for their daughter. Here, I give you this piece of land for your 13-year-old daughter. I give you this piece of land for your 14-year-old daughter. And this was the norm. So this is my thing. My only thing whenever I say we're being selective about stuff, that's part of the selective rage that I talk about. Because if you go on Ancestry.com, and I will bet my house, my vehicles, and everything I got on it, that somebody in your family A grown person married a child. A grown person had a baby from a child. I can guarantee somewhere in your family it has happened. I challenge everybody on here to go on ancestry.com and go back through their family. Look at the ages of people. Look at the mom and the dad and look at ages. And a lot of times we see the mom up there, but you don't see the dad, but you'll see the dad name pop up somewhere else. That's because the age was too far off. Like the person was 12 and the daddy might have been 32. So they didn't put the age up there whenever they did the census because they didn't want nobody getting in trouble. But don't let nobody fool you. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that it's wrong. What I'm saying is, if you are going to point your finger at one, then point your finger at all. That's all I'm saying. And if we're going to go after the men, then we have to make sure that we also go after the females that are talking to younger people. It's cool now. She's a cougar, right? No. If we're going to go after the men for dealing with young women, then we need to go after the women for dealing with the young men. We got to keep it fair all the way across the board. That's all I'm saying. We have to be realistic. We having realistic conversations today. That's what we are doing. Yes, how can a child at 16 commit murder, but at 17 and 18, they don't know what? It's all about the system. It's all about the system. As a matter of fact, in some cases, you can have a child that is 15 that is tried as an adult. It all depends. And the thing is, and this is the thing, you can emancipate yourself before you're 18. If you emancipate yourself, then you're saying that you are an adult. You are an adult, and your parents are saying that you're an adult, going about your business, do whatever it is that you are doing. Emancipations happen. And basically, this is what they did when they signed her over to somebody else and let her go to virtual. They were basically allowing her to emancipate herself. That's what the emancipation is. Yeah, we ain't talking about the Emancipation Proclamation. We're not talking about that. We're talking about emancipation when kids, especially if they want to get married. If you got a 15-year-old trying to marry a 19-year-old, 16 trying to marry a 20-year-old, they can go, if the parents agree, they can emancipate themselves so they can get married. That's what I'm saying. So we got to look at the stuff like just like all the way around. If we're being honest with ourselves, if we truly being honest. And I'm saying I was helping someone with their with their lineage. We were going through their stuff on their family tree, and I was showing them how to connect the dots. And I saw one thing and I'm like, oh, they may not want to know this, but they did have a great grandmother that had a child when she was 12. She had a child when she was 12 and the dad was 29. There was another one in there, had a child when they were 16. Their dad was 30 something. It was all through there. All the way through. So that's all I'm saying. We can sit here and we can go and play the righteous card, but at the end of the day, some of us need to be talking to our parents and our grandparents so we can get the real and stop acting like this is something that just started happening today. And depending on what what type of environment you came up in. It just depends on a lot of factors because everybody don't grow up the same. Everybody does not grow up the same. And y'all have seen it. Y'all have seen in some cases like Miss, I don't want to call it, like Miss Pace. Y'all have seen like some parents are okay with that. I have seen parents that were okay with their 16-year-old talking to a 20-something-year-old. I have seen it. The person comes and picks them up from the house. The person give the mama money, help the mama pay bills. I have seen it. It's reality. And this ain't no far-fetched stuff. Y'all have seen it. Some of the same people y'all were in high school with, they were dealing with grown men. And not a darn you might have had people saying stuff at their table, having Sunday table talk, but just from day to day. The only time something really got said was when that child, I'm saying child at this point, became a junior or senior and went to the prom and wanted to bring that joker to the prom, and the school said no, they too old to come to the prom. That's when the issue was made out of. Other than that, everybody was quiet. Everybody was quiet. Oh, that's her man. Oh, okay, that's her man. The thing, we see the entertainer stuff and it's like it's something different. Oh my goodness, I can't believe. You don't have to look at the entertainers. Go look in one of your rooms in your house. You got the same thing going on in your house. Or your next door neighbor house. Or in your backyard. We're going to keep it real. Like, that's why I don't get pulled into all those conversations and people like, oh, Doc, I can't believe you. No, I need you to believe me because Doc going to be realistic at all times. I'm not going to sit here and act like stuff doesn't happen. I'm not going to sit here and act like anybody is 100% innocent. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I know this person is guilty. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. What I'm going to say is reality, the reality of it all. That's all I'm saying. So my thing is, and I did not mean to stay on here that long. And if y'all don't like me after this, I still love y'all. I promise. I hope y'all still got love for me. I've been quiet on this thing for a long time and just chilling out. And, I have my conversations with my people or whatever. And we just keep it pushing. But at the end of the day, Latrice, you know what it is. God's property, what's going on? We gotta stop like living in this. It's like a virtual reality for people right now. And it's like, number one, I really need, let me say I hope, because I don't want to tell anybody what to do. I really hope that people get to the point where they understand. Let me tell you something. Oh, Lord. Oh, you can't serve two masters. Now, if you're not spiritual or nothing, just let that go over your head. But if you know what I'm saying, if you know, then you know you can't serve two masters. So you can't be walking around here worshiping two masters. Oh, I felt that one in my head. Jesus. You can't do it. You cannot do it. A man is a man is a man is a man. And when I say man, I'm not talking about men in general. I'm talking about people. Man that walks this earth. The day that interaction took place between Adam and Eve, things changed. You know what I'm talking about? When you get yourself to the place, I saw this O word in the chat. When you start obsessing, then that's borderline worship. Just like a gold calf running through parading through the streets and people just throwing gold on it. It's just covered in gold and people worshiping that calf or that, whatever it is. It's taking stuff to a whole, and that's what's scary to me. So we can love people and not worship them. We can love people and not idolize them. When it comes to the point of something becoming an idol, and that's what I'm seeing. When it comes to the point of idolizing, it's no different in biblical times. Like people start making crazy decisions, just be acting all kind of pandemonium. Just you got to stop and think. We talk about perception. It's not just about other people's perception. It's about your own perception. Sometimes you got to step outside of yourself and look at what you're doing and see if what you're doing makes sense. Cause I'm sitting here and I'm I'm telling y'all, I'm like, you going that hard, man, boy. I tell you, boy, if you was going that hard for God, boy, you get everything you want, boy. You are something else. Boy, if you were going that hard for him, boy, like you be his favorite. You know what I mean? Like, dang. I'm saying, like, dang. Oh, yeah. Hallelujah. Wanna do it. I'm just being funny, y'all. I'm being funny. But what I'm gonna do, like in all honesty, is what I have been doing. I'm gonna continue praying for him. That's what I have been doing. All the other stuff, I'm not getting into that. I will continue praying for him as well as all the people that are involved. Because he's not the only one that's involved. So I will continue praying for him. And my prayer today is the same prayer that it was yesterday. Not that my will be done, but Lord, that your will be done. Whatever that is, let your will be done because it's not about us. It's not about us. And at the end of the day, if that's what the prayer is, then you can't go wrong because stuff will work out the way that it's supposed to work out. That's just it. Whatever his will is, there's nothing that we can do about it. And we can joke and stuff like that all day, but at the end of the day, it's still somebody's life that's on the line. We know that there was a lot of anger. We know that there was a lot of vindictiveness. We know that there was a lot of stuff involved. It was too much stuff involved. Honestly, it's just too much. And my prayer will also be that whatever he wants him to get out of this, that the message is received. And not just received, but believed. And that there's some follow through. You got to follow through. You got to follow through. So, that's my thing, y'all. If y'all got anything out of this conversation, y'all put a 1 in the chat. If I pissed you off, you can put a 2 in the chat. If I pissed you off, put a 2 in the chat. If y'all understood what I was saying and you just appreciated just having a real conversation today, put a 1 in the chat because that's what my purpose was today. Latrice put a 2 in the chat. Get off my live. No, I'm playing. Thank you. Oh, that was too funny. That was too funny. I enjoyed talking to y'all. I don't know if 312 is still on here. 312, if you're still on here, then we'll try to do that panel. I stay away from panels because I like to have control of the situation. And I'm the type where, if somebody start talking crazy, I'm going to click them off real quick. But yeah, we're gonna try to get that done. And I'ma just have to be ready. Click. What you say? Click. Yes, I am controlling. See what I'm telling you? I own mine. I am controlling. If it come to that panel, click. What? Click. Rena, what's your question? I'm still in my feelings though behind all this. It's hard to take in, and that's why I didn't come out saying anything, because I'm like, I know people, you got supporters and fans and all that stuff, but this man still has family that is having to take this in, his kids. Because contrary to what was going on with him and his ex-wife or whatever, like, his kids are watching this play out. Like, I'm thinking about this stuff and his kids, because I know that they're watching some of the blogs and they're watching TV and they're seeing this stuff, and I don't care. Like, to me, it's just so much bigger than the petty stuff that people talk about. Like, I'm really thinking about how people are affected by this thing. It was, I don't know. And that's why I didn't want to come on like doing something like, oh, let me go and do this video. Like, there was nothing wrong with it, but I just didn't want to get involved in that. I didn't want to get involved in it. And like I said, I didn't want to monetize off of it. And the only way that I could not is to try to go on Facebook and talk about it. But a lot of people don't have Facebook. So you just let the stuff die down and just come back. And if people are willing to listen, then they're willing to listen. But I wanted to come back once people had a chance to process some of it. And I need to process it myself. But I wanted people to be able to process it. Even when it came down to the sisters, like, giving people time to process things, because in reality, that sentence, like, that he could possibly be facing is real. And there's no joking with that. That's why whenever somebody, oh, well, he deserved this, I'm not going to go along with any kind of conversations with that, because at the end of the day, we all sin and fall short. So I'm not, I'm going to let the man deal with you however he chooses to deal with you. I'm not talking about the man, the government. I'm talking about the man. I'm going to let him deal with you however he sees fit. I'm not getting involved in that. That is not my cross to bear. And I'm not going to be sitting at the gates talking about, well, Lord, I know I said that you need to do such and such to them, but I forgot that I had did what I did. So I need you to forget what I said. Just forget what I said need to happen to them, because I need you to have mercy on me. No, see, that ain't going to be me. That ain't going to be me. Nope, it ain't going to be me. It ain't going to be me. Lord, I need you to forgive me for what I said, because when I had said that, I didn't remember that I had stole money out of the collection plate. I forgot about that. So when I said that you need to cut his hand and his foot off, I need you to, I ain't mean that, Lord. Just take his pinky off. You know, just take the feeling out his pinky, Lord. I just need you to do that. Cause I don't, no, no, no. No, no. We ain't doing that. We're not doing that. No. See, I understand. God listen to what you say, so you got to be careful what you say sometimes. You got to be careful what you say. So I can't, yeah. I'm going to say, Lord, let your will be done. Let your will, not my will, let your will be done. That's my prayer I say for myself. My prayer is no different from anybody else. Let your will be done. If that's healing, if that's mending, whatever that is, let your will be done on everybody, on the whole situation. The whole situation. But I ain't saying that they need to go right or nothing like that, Lord, because I remember, child, Remember I told y'all about that mattress and putting them little slits in it? I'm going to have the answer for that. I'm going to have the answer for that. Forgive me, dear Mr. Jesus. Y'all gonna have me praying like Jenny and Forrest Gump. Dear God, send me a bed so I can fly far. I ain't trying to do all that. I ain't trying to do all that, child. Yeah, I ain't trying to do all that. No ma'am, no Sam, no ham. My take on the outcome, I don't know. My take on the outcome, yeah, Tony, I'm gonna have to answer for that. I did that though. Into the thick of it. Miss Fat, really? Yeah, I gotta go because I know once y'all get started, it's over. I see these dimes up in here. Shout out to the dimes. Shout out to the dimes. But yeah, I'm still praying for justice. That's what I am. I'm hoping for. That's what I'm praying for. I'm praying that I'm hoping that that's part of what God's will is. I would be crazy to assume otherwise. The justice may not look the way that I think it's supposed to look, or it could look the way I think it's supposed to look. But that's where I'm at. I'm sure that they're doing their stuff with the appeal. I actually think that the appeal, Priscilla, what email? I actually think that they may be all right with the appeal. That's just my opinion. Because I mean, whether it was him or anybody else, I just don't think that the charges that they charged him with, I don't think that they proved their case. And again, that's just my opinion. I don't think that they prove this case. We can't speak on any other case, but this particular case, this trial, I don't think that they proved their case. If I didn't respond, then I probably didn't. Please resend it. I would do a trip on here tonight, but I ain't got time, child. The judge got a grudge. All things done in secret. What comes to the light? And that's what that's what I think. I'm Ed in Houston. That's why I'm not going and pointing the finger at this one and pointing the finger at that one, because at the end of the day, anything that was done wrong, somebody's going to have to answer for it. Anything that was done with any ill will, with any malice, all the way around. All the way around. I'm not excluding anybody. Anything that was done with any ill will or malice, then they're going to have to answer for it. Anybody that was involved, they will have to answer for it. That's my belief. So that's why I don't get caught up in all the other stuff. I believe that in the end, everything works out for the good. Sipping with Dimples. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I know God's saying low. Yeah, he been said that. What we gonna do with Miss Fat? He been saying that. Let's see. Even Nas. Oh, okay, I didn't know Nas said something. Yeah, we have to pay for our wrongdoings. No matter who we are, we're going to have to pay for it. And that's the thing. Sometimes only we know what we did. Nobody else may know. How the little thing, nobody's going to know. They're going to know. Nobody's going to know. Some things we have done, all of us. And yeah, Some things we have done and nobody knows. Nobody knows. But at the end, we will all be held accountable for it. I've been having a lot of anxiety every time. Yeah. Yeah, I snuck it in there. I wanna feel. April Showers. Hey, how you doing? Juicy, I don't think I spoke to you. How you doing? How you doing? Y'all, I'm trying to get because I'm about to head out the door. Nobody know I stole the meat. Hold up, before we get off here, I'm about to get y'all. We're going to have a little fun before I get off here. Since I done had to be real for a minute. We're going to hear Usher for a minute. These are my confessions. Yeah, I'm about to do it. I need y'all to put on here now. Let me say, I need you to put one thing that you did. Either when you were young, say young, I don't want to say adult. Put one thing on here that you did that don't nobody know about. Now, let me say this. Do not incriminate yourself. If it's something that you can get in trouble for today, do not incriminate yourself. But what is something that you have done? Latrice said nothing. You lying. You lying about not doing nothing. I gave y'all my story, and that was as an adult. I gave y'all my story, I gave y'all my story. And that was on Tarzan and them. I gave y'all my story. Let me remove my picture first. Do it hypothetically now. It's not what you did, it's what you may have done hypothetically. You kissed a boy, girl, bye. Rena says stole money, cake, candy, cookies. Oh, Lord. Jesus. Look. Miss April says she snuck out the house. To go where? You went and did what? Kissed the boy when I told my mom I didn't. Hold on, Shamika. You was being fast, huh? When I was 7, I stole candy from the store. What kind of candy was it? If it wants some Mary Jane's or some Boston baked beans or something, I mean some good candy, then you in trouble for that, child. You gonna have to repent for that. I took my mom's perfume trying to be grown and lied about it. Priscilla, you was probably walking around and smell like a whole Avon factory. Nah, I'm playing. I still love them. I see that brick looking box. Yes. Lied about my age. Okay, Kim, did you say you were younger or did you say you were older? She was mad. Hold up, I gotta see the first part of what you put up here. Wait a minute. I took my mom's perfume. Oh, okay. Where is it at? It was why. Where is it at? It was why I said she was mad. You must have took the whole bottle. Like, you took the bottle. You didn't just spray it. You took the whole bottle. Oh, that's what got me a grown boy. No wonder y'all was shaking y'all head with me when I was talking. Y'all fast. Oh, goodness. He was 24? Okay. When I was in high school, I was a 9th grader, and I was talking to a 12th grader, right? But he had just as young as I did, so he might as well have been in 9th grade. Child. Hot mess. But anyway, moving on along. Moving on along. Oh, he was 15, you were 24. See? That's what I'm talking about. And that's why those songs used to come out. You may be young, but you're ready. That's where that stuff came from. And everybody thought it was a vibe then. Oh, this is a vibe. Anyway, let me get my butt off here, y'all. I'll make sure don't nobody get in trouble. So y'all for kicking it with me today. If you have not hit that like button, please hit that like button. Shout out to all the certified dimes that are on here. Miss you guys. I had my oldest son when I was 15 and he was 19. You know that was illegal, right? I don't know what state y'all in, but if it was in South Carolina, that was illegal. That was illegal. Lord, I hope they don't come at the key. Lord, have mercy. Just leave people alone, Lord. Let go and let God. Let go and let God. But shout out to the dime. Shout out to the subscribers. Boom, 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 boom. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Shout out to everyone that was not or is not a subscriber. You in Detroit. I don't know the legal age in Detroit. I don't know. You might be all right. I don't know. Miss Ty, good night, good night, good night. These songs dead giveaway. Yeah, they were. They were dead giveaways. And we're going to leave that there. I want y'all to go. Let me plant this seed. I'm not telling on myself anymore. No. I'm not going to plant the seed. You know what? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. I'll do it later. Guess I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. All right, y'all. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said, I had to take a little break and let everybody do what they do before I came and address my little stuff or whatever. Thank y'all for listening and bearing with me and, you know, just having some grown folk conversation. You know, we'll come back and we'll do this again. And I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you. And hold on. Skirt. If you don't get nothing else. I don't know why I got to say it like I'm drunk. If you don't get nothing else out of what I said tonight, thank you, Latrice. If you don't get nothing else, good night, Vonda. Good night, Priscilla. Good night, John Boy. Good night. Okay, let me say good night going out. If you don't get nothing else before I finish saying good night out of anything in this live, remember this. Mind your business. Okay? Good night, Vonda. Good night. Like the part of the verse that she said something about being young. Oh, Lord, Rena, you about to have us listen at some songs. I'll come back with it. Good night, Kim. Good night, Sippin'. Good night, Cherry. Good night, Aries. That's right, mind your business. Good night, Everyday Gemini. Good night, Groovy Family. Mind the business that pays you. Mind your business. Mind your business. Good night, Rena. And if you don't have no business to mind, get you some. Oh, go ahead. Okay, and good night, good night, good night, Miss Fat. Good night, Gail. Y'all, come holler at me on TikTok. I see you over on TikTok and Instagram. Good night, Demetra. Good night to everybody that was rocking with us and having this conversation with y'all, with all of us. Y'all see I'm getting tongue-tied now. I'm trying to get off here. I ain't had nothing to eat yet. So, see y'all next time. And remember, those prayers, prayer changes things. Good night.